Today, I would like to explore a topic that sits at the intersection of nutrition science, cultural tradition, and everyday eating behavior. What actually happens in the body when we eat gingerbread? While often associated with holidays, nostalgia, and indulgence, gingerbread is far more complex from a physiological standpoint than many people realize. By examining its impact on blood sugar regulation and digestive health, we gain insight not only into this particular food, but also into broader principles of how our bodies respond to carbohydrates, spices, and dietary patterns. Gingerbread occupies a unique position in the culinary landscape. It is undeniably a sweet treat, often categorized alongside cookies, cakes, and other desserts. Yet it also contains ingredients, most notably ginger, cinnamon, and other spices, that have long-standing reputations in traditional medicine and modern nutritional science. Understanding how these contrasting elements interact within the body allows us to approach gingerbread with nuance rather than guilt or overindulgence. Let us begin by examining how gingerbread affects blood sugar, an area of increasing concern given the global rise in insulin resistance, prediabetes, and type 2 diabetes. At its foundation, gingerbread is made from refined carbohydrates. The two primary contributors are wheat flour and a sweetener, most commonly molasses. Both of these ingredients are rapidly digested into glucose, which then enters the bloodstream. As blood glucose rises, the pancreas releases insulin, the hormone responsible for shuttling glucose into cells for energy or storage. From a nutritional standpoint, foods are often evaluated using the glycemic index, or GI, a scale that measures how quickly a carbohydrate-containing food raises blood sugar compared to pure glucose. Gingerbread cookies have an estimated glycemic index of around 66, placing them in the high glycemic category. For context, sugar cookies score slightly higher, while fudge ranks lower due to its higher fat content, which slows digestion. A high glycemic food causes a more rapid rise in blood glucose, followed by a sharper insulin response. For individuals with insulin resistance or impaired glucose tolerance, repeated exposure to such spikes can contribute to metabolic strain over time. This is why gingerbread, despite its festive appeal, is not typically recommended as a blood sugar-friendly food. However, focusing solely on glycemic index can oversimplify the story. Foods are rarely consumed in isolation, and the physiological response to a meal is influenced by its full nutrient profile. This is where gingerbread distinguishes itself from many other sweets. Unlike many desserts that are little more than refined sugar and fat, gingerbread contains spices with documented metabolic effects. Ginger and cinnamon in particular have been studied for their potential role in improving insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism. Cinnamon has attracted considerable attention in nutritional research. Several studies suggest that regular consumption of cinnamon may help lower fasting blood glucose and improve insulin sensitivity, particularly in individuals with elevated blood sugar levels. Compounds in cinnamon appear to enhance insulin receptor signaling and slow gastric emptying, both of which contribute to more stable post-meal glucose levels. Ginger, meanwhile, contains bioactive compounds such as gingerols, shogals, and pyridols. These compounds exhibit antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties and have been linked to improved glucose uptake in muscle tissue. Some studies involving people with type 2 diabetes have shown modest reductions in fasting blood glucose and improved insulin sensitivity following ginger supplementation. It is important to emphasize, however, that the quantities of these spices present in a typical slice of gingerbread are relatively small. While they may contribute marginal benefits, they do not negate the effects of refined carbohydrates and added sugars. As one dietitian aptly summarized, the spices do not cancel out the sugar, but they do make gingerbread somewhat gentler on blood sugar compared to desserts that lack these functional ingredients entirely. This distinction matters. Nutrition is rarely about absolutes, it's about degrees of impact and overall dietary patterns. In that context, gingerbread occupies a middle ground, neither a health food nor a metabolic disaster. Beyond blood sugar regulation, gingerbread also influences digestion in several notable ways.
From a macronutrient standpoint, it is typically high in carbohydrates and moderate in fat, while being low in protein and fiber. This composition affects both satiety and digestive efficiency. Low fiber content means that gingerbread moves relatively quickly through the digestive tract and provides limited support for bowel regularity. Fiber is essential for stool formation, gut motility, and feeding beneficial gut bacteria. As such, gingerbread is unlikely to contribute meaningfully to digestive health in the way that whole grains, legumes, or vegetables do. However, once again, the spices tell a more nuanced story. Ginger has long been recognized for its digestive benefits. It has been used across cultures to relieve nausea, reduce bloating, and support gastric emptying, the process by which food moves from the stomach into the small intestine. Research suggests that ginger can help coordinate stomach contractions, potentially reducing sensations of fullness or discomfort after eating. Cinnamon and cloves, also common in gingerbread, may contribute additional digestive support. These spices have mild carminative properties, meaning they can help reduce gas formation and intestinal cramping. Some emerging research even suggests that cinnamon may help support the integrity of the intestinal lining, which could have implications for inflammatory bowel conditions. Because of these effects, gingerbread may be better tolerated by some individuals than heavier, richer desserts that rely heavily on butter, cream, or chocolate. For people prone to bloating or post-meal discomfort, a small portion of gingerbread may feel less taxing on the digestive system. When viewed in isolation, gingerbread is not a nutritional powerhouse. However, nutrition rarely exists in isolation. It exists in context. During the holiday season especially, people are often choosing between a variety of indulgent options, each with different metabolic consequences. Compared to frosted sugar cookies, fudge, or pastries made with large amounts of butter and cream, gingerbread tends to be lower in saturated fat and slightly more nutrient-dense due to its spices. These characteristics may make it a more balanced option for those looking to enjoy seasonal foods without excessive metabolic stress. That said, healthier does not mean health food. Gingerbread remains a dessert, and its benefits should be viewed as relative rather than absolute. The key advantage is that it offers modest functional benefits while still satisfying the desire for something sweet and festive. For individuals concerned about blood sugar control, there are practical strategies that can make gingerbread more metabolically friendly. One such approach is food pairing. Consuming gingerbread alongside a source of protein or healthy fat, such as milk, yogurt, nuts, or even a balanced meal, can slow carbohydrate absorption and blunt glucose spikes. Protein stimulates the release of hormones that promote satiety and more stable blood sugar responses. Portion control is another important factor. Enjoying a small slice of gingerbread rather than a large serving allows for enjoyment without overwhelming the body's regulatory systems. Mindful eating, paying attention to taste, texture, and satisfaction, can further enhance this effect and reduce the likelihood of overconsumption. Finally, context matters. Eating gingerbread as part of a balanced meal or after physical activity will have a very different metabolic impact than consuming it alone while sedentary. Muscles that have recently been active are more efficient at taking up glucose, reducing the burden on insulin. An often overlooked aspect of nutrition is the psychological relationship people have with food. Excessive restriction or moral judgment around eating can contribute to stress, guilt, and disordered eating patterns. Ironically, this psychological stress itself can negatively affect digestion and blood sugar regulation through hormonal pathways involving cortisol. From this perspective, the advice offered by many dietitians is both practical and compassionate. Enjoy foods like gingerbread without guilt, in reasonable portions, and within the context of an overall balanced diet. Pleasure and satisfaction are legitimate components of healthy eating, particularly during cultural or seasonal celebrations. Food is not merely fuel, it is social, emotional, and cultural. Gingerbread, with its associations of warmth, tradition, and celebration, carries value beyond its nutrient profile. Recognizing this allows individuals to make food choices that support both physical health and emotional well-being. In summary, gingerbread occupies a nuanced position in the dietary landscape. From a metabolic standpoint, it is a high glycemic food that can raise blood sugar, primarily due to its refined carbohydrates and added sugars. However, the presence of spices such as ginger and cinnamon introduce modest benefits, including improved insulin sensitivity and digestive support. While gingerbread should not be viewed as a health food, it is also not nutritionally empty. Compared to many holiday desserts, it offers a slightly gentler impact on both blood sugar and digestion. When consumed mindfully in appropriate portions and ideally alongside protein or other nutrient-dense foods, it can be part of a balanced and enjoyable diet. Perhaps most importantly, the conversation around gingerbread serves as a broader reminder. Nutrition is not about perfection, restriction, or fear. It's about understanding how foods affect the body, making informed choices, and allowing space for enjoyment.